Hi everyone, it's Chris Dobbin here from Referrals Over Breakfast, and I'm just taking a bit of time out to catch up with one of our newer members, Tamara. And Tamara's brought along a co-worker with her, which is her basically one of the founding members of RedZed, Adrian, who's sitting beside us. Firstly, I'd love to have a quick chat with Tamara and just, I guess, Tamara, tell us how you're finding RoB and where you are and what you do, I guess. Give us a little bit of
Sure. So I'm one of the direct lending managers for RedZed. I've been in the direct team for about a year now. I came across RoB, God, I think, 2 months ago or so. I was at home and I was looking for a community-based networking group located in Port Melbourne. And I Googled networking groups and RoB came up. So I decided to go down on a Friday morning and I found the group quite, I guess I'm a bit lost for words now, especially when it's recording. I start to try to think about too many things and mess it up. So,
yeah. But
I don't know, did you want to start?
You did a couple of visits though, didn't you, when you came down? So
I did, yeah. I think after the second visit, Glenys called me up. She said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, signing up." The rest is history. But I've just found the group quite interactive.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been really focused on business exposure and quite authentic networking, which I found that quite different to previous ones I've gone to.
Yeah, and I remember when you became a member, unfortunately you couldn't rock up, so you sent down one of your team members, and they came along and they had a good time, and they really enjoyed themselves as well. So it's kind of been beneficial for the team to get some exposure to networking and all those things. They were hoping we'd open one up around another place in Melbourne so they could venture along. That's how much he enjoyed it. So but I guess that's the case. There is a team that you work with, and you're all based in Melbourne, or are you around Australia?
We are based in Melbourne, yeah. So there's just the two of us. It's quite a small team to start with.
Yeah.
Based in Melbourne.
Fantastic. And do you want to tell us a little bit more about RedZed, what they do? So.
Sure.
Yes, look, I'll jump in there if you like.
You're here, so
I've been here since the beginning. RedZed's a business that is purely focused on finance solutions for self-employed. We've been operating now for 13 years.
Yep.
Current staffing number of about 72. And our business has sort of grown over those 13 years, but with the sole focus of providing finance solutions to self-employed that for one reason or another either don't qualify for a mainstream lending solution or choose not to go down the path of that mainstream lending solution. So unfortunately, Australia's self-employed have been quite neglected over the years when it comes to finance options. And that's been brought about through a number of reasons. One, there's been a lot of regulation that's hit the industry, but also the main thing I think is really the mainstream or the big banks. These guys are dealing with tens of thousands of borrowers on a daily or weekly basis, I should say. And so to cater for that, they build systems that are very inhumane. Pretty much everyone's heard the old saying, computer says no. Unfortunately, that is really relevant for a self-employed borrower when they're looking for finance. Unfortunately, these computer credit score systems are really geared towards dealing with the mass numbers, which are your typical PAYG employee, not the self-employed. So we don't have the computer systems. We're still sort of almost an old school business where we've got individual human beings actually making decisions on the characteristics of a self-employed borrower.
Okay, cool. And does it require people to have a house, or is it based on other factors? Like
look, the funding that we provide does need to be secured at this point in time. It needs to either be by the house that they live in, investment property, but it also could be a commercial property that they either operate their business out of or also have as an investment at this stage. We don't do any unsecured lending at this point in time, but it is something that is on our radar. Our ultimate aim is to be able to provide a finance solution to a self-employed borrower, regardless of what phase they are in their business journey. So that could be from somebody wanting to start up a business all the way through to somebody who's looking at succession planning for a business that they may have been operating for 30 our ultimate aim is to cover whatever financial solution they have throughout their whole journey. We're not there quite yet. As I said, we're sort of really restricted to mortgage lending at the moment.
Yep.
But we would hope in the not too distant future we can start tackling other things such as invoice financing and asset finance and unsecured lending as well.
Right, fantastic, yeah. Well, I mean, again, that's sort of with the RoB side of things, is that's been complementary, because when you were applying for your category, Tamara, we did have another finance person who was applying, and they were that side of things. So it was kind of, it was beneficial when Trevor came on board, that he was doing what he was doing and you were doing what you're doing, but it gave us a clear definition on the category. So it made it beneficial for both of you to still be able to support the group and the partners, but because you've got that clear definition of what your business is about, it made it quite easy for us to give Trevor and yourself an opportunity to work together in the group. So yeah, but in saying that though, I guess, coming back to RoB, how have you found, getting up at 7 a.m. and networking and things like that? How's that been for you? Is it a change, or is it become a natural part of what you do now? So
it was a little bit of a change. The previous ones I was doing were after hours, which were, they were good. It went for a couple of hours, but it made the day, I guess, that extra bit longer. Whereas RoB, I guess, I'm based not too far out of South Melbourne, so it's not too much of a hassle to get up and go there.
Yeah.
So, not a big change. Good change, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's the whole reason we went for the referrals over breakfast in that case. Is the idea was you get up in the morning, get inspired, do a bit of networking, hopefully get some business out of it. And then when your 9 o'clock kicks around, you're sort of rolling into your day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're set up for the day once you get there and you sit down and, the food and drinks are supplied. So it's always good to have the coffee there. But no, it does. It definitely sets you up for your day.
For sure, yeah. And have you done number one-to-ones with members since you've been?
I have.
Yeah, and how are you finding?
Yeah, good. That's the other thing I really liked about RoB, is how interactive everyone is. Everyone's really keen to learn more about what you do.
Yeah.
So, you are out there meeting up with the other members instead of, I guess, previously it felt like you were only catching up with people if it was beneficial, whereas this one, it seems, this one's more, they want to get to know you.
Yeah, exactly.
Both, personally and professionally. So
exactly, yeah. And to be honest, that's sort of how I do my networking anyway. So it's kind of a little bit of my DNA. It's obviously been injected into it, because that's what I love when I do business with people. I kind of like to like them and like to enjoy them. And, it's always useful when you can know what people are doing outside of business and bring that into it, because like I guess we talked about in the meeting recently, sometimes their network, they don't know enough about you to be able to refer you because they haven't understood what you do. But if you can have that connection or find a connection, it gets easier to refer business with each other. So
I think the difference Tamara's mentioned when she's come back into the office is that the networking groups that she has been involved in, she'd been involved in them for 6 to 12 months, and it seemed to be very one-sided, some of the interactions where I think after the very first RoB meeting that she went to, she came back, and I haven't seen a spring in her step like that for quite a while. She was very excited. I think she was welcomed with open arms, that's for sure. And since then, she's had a lot of your members regularly reach out, and it wasn't just to promote their business straight off. It was, okay, you knew, I want to get to know you. And it was a completely different level. And I know that's certainly resonated with Tamara. And I think in the several months that she's been a member, she's got a lot more out of the RoB experience that she has with any of the others.
For sure, yeah. Now, did you make it to the speaker events that we've had?
I didn't.
No. So you missed that experience. So
I did.
Yeah. So earlier this year.
You're on holidays, weren't you?
I think I might have been.
Which is unfortunate, because the one we had halfway through the year, we were blessed with the guy from the Grand Prix, the head of the CEO, James Harden, in Australian cricket, which was a fantastic, because he works in that corporate level, and for him to come down and talk to small business was amazing. And the one I think you did miss was it was an interesting topic. It was a little bit, I won't say tree hugging hippie, but it was, love yourself and then you'll love what you do kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he talked about that process, and it was really, he had 4 steps to it, and it was quite interesting, but how he kind of went about that and then the outcome of that. And it was really enlightening for the people. And I use the word enlightening in a good way, because it was something that sort of people did act on. And I've noticed that that's come into the group, which is why you've had that experience, I think, because people have applied it and come through the group. So it's nice to know that you're feeling that way about it. So, yeah. But anyway, we could talk all day, and I guess it was just to get a bit of a feel for how you're finding things. And for anyone that was interested in being a RoB member, they kind of hear it from the horse's mouth. But the other thing we're here for today is that you've got, as RedZed, you've got an amazing offer going on at the moment. So do you want to talk me through that? Because it sounds amazing what you're trying to achieve with this. So
most certainly. We've just kicked off for our 3rd year a competition that we have running. It's called our Meet the Master campaign, and what it's designed for is purely targeted to Australian self-employed. You don't have to be a customer of RedZed. Anybody can enter. And the idea is that if you have any self-employed person, and a lot of your members are, obviously, a lot of them have people that they aspire to be in their industry, or people that they look up to. And this competition is all about putting Australia self-employed in contact with their the master in their chosen field, or who they look up to or inspired by. So as I said, it's open to anybody who is self-employed. And it could be we could be flying you anywhere around the world, and hopefully giving you an opportunity to meet someone that you otherwise would not be able to. Past winners we've had is we sent a gentleman over to Richmond, Virginia, over in the US. Last year we sent a gentleman over to the UK. And we feel the experience as well. So there's sort of no hidden agenda from our point of view. It's just our way of supporting Australia's self-employed, which we try and do from a business side of view, and it's just taking that one step further. So we would encourage any of your members to go on, and I think we've sent you the details of it.
Yeah, I'll put those links into somewhere where it's above the left and right side. We'll find a way to get people linked to it. Yeah. Fantastic.
So, I said I'd start with your members. Go on and have a look, and if there's anybody in their field that they would really like to meet. We've had some strange entries from people wanting to meet Richard Branson to Donald Trump to someone who was a martial arts teacher even. So the entries are quite unique, but it's open to any self-employed Australian who would like the opportunity to be able to meet somebody in their field that they really aspire to be, or get inspiration from. And if they're a successful person, will fly them anywhere around the world to go and meet them, and they'll spend 3 days with them and hopefully learn what makes them successful, and they can bring that back to their Australian operations.
Wow, that sounds amazing, to be honest. I'm obviously going to jump on myself, to be honest.
I'll
have to work out who I want to meet first. But anyway, it sounds awesome. Another thing too, I've just realised, Tamara, you're going to be on our Drive Home webinar, which is another amazing benefit you get of being a member.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, so we'll obviously be able to follow up what we just talked about today in that interview, and go from there. And if you've got, do you know your topic you're talking about on that one, or?
Yes, I'm just going to put through a lender for the self-employed. So I think there's a lot of people out there that probably don't know about RedZed and
RedZed and how the process works and things like that.
Yeah, and what we can offer people. So
that'll be what you're talking about. Fantastic. All right. Well, I guess we've done the teaser now on that, so I guess hopefully people will start registering for that, and that'll be in a couple of weeks, isn't it? The 20th, I think. So depending on when they see this video, but we do keep it on YouTube so that people can come back to it at any time anyway. So hopefully they'll see it either on the night live and kicking, or they'll come to it afterwards. But
great.
Yeah, fantastic. I guess, is there any other things you'd like to talk about while we're here today, or you're happy you've covered everything we wanted to get off?
I think as you said, it's a good little teaser for everybody. But as I said before, most of your members are self-employed as well, and I'm sure if they're having any trouble at all obtaining finance, feel free to
have a chat with Tamara
and keep doing what you guys are doing, because it's
fantastic. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Adrian. It's been fantastic to have you on board and hear a little bit about how you came about RedZed and the support you're giving Tamara to help us get where we're going as well. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Guys. All right, we'll talk soon.